Welcome to Educators in VR's XR News. We've much to cover today, including MetaQuest price increases, the new international age verification systems, monkeys using VR, vets using VR, world builders using AI, and more amazing news from across the metaverse.
Let's go. XR News was created in 2018, just a long time ago, as a way to give back to your VR community, our VR community, for so many years. We're keeping on to bring you the news and interviews from around the metaverse every Wednesday here in Engage XR, including the latest events and activities for you to join this weekend and beyond.
Join our hosts every Wednesday, including Rachel D. for our monthly Med Health edition, and XR News' own Innovation Spotlight with Maxwell McGee, Chris Madsen, and Dr. Tom Furness, exploring the pioneering use of VR in Engage XR and beyond.
Last week featured a fascinating trip down memory lane with Maxwell McGee in our XR News Innovation Spotlight. We discussed the closure of several VR platforms recently, and we used the power of Engage XR to showcase photographs, 3D models, and messages about what we appreciated about the different platforms, including Delcine's fun display of her avatars over the years and different platforms, followed by a showing of one of her Altspace group's legendary Star Trek episodes. It was fun, and it was such a great way to pay tribute. We had a blast.
It was so crazy and fun. Yeah,
it sure was. So check out that show and all of our other shows as well on our Educators in VR YouTube channel.
Next week, we have a special event for XR News. We are going to open up the microphone to our audience to share about how VR has changed your life. Bring friends, neighbors, even enemies to the show next Wednesday to share their memories, insights, and thoughts on the impact of VR on your life, work, and maybe even your relationships. After all, many of us have found our best friends here in VR.
Absolutely.
So true. Absolutely. And you know, while we love having you here in our studio, we understand if you miss a show every once in a while. You can stay caught up with every single episode by subscribing to our YouTube channel and social media. All the links are at educatorsinvr.com. And that's my brother very diligently hiding, recording the show. So, you know, we're bringing it to you. So if you miss a show, watch it on YouTube.
The family that films together.
Blackmail material together.
Yeah, it is. It's all blackmail. All of it's blackmail material here.
Yes, it is.
If anything, I shouldn't even say it. I know if I say it, it will. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Okay, so the XR News. Everything's going to go great today. The XR News is produced by Educators in VR, run by volunteers, which is why you forgive us when things mess up. Thank you so much to our partners and supporters who keep us going, including our beloved Reinhardt Foundation, Girls Team Institute, iLearn, Virtual World Society, Vertex Form 3D, Cadets Metaverse, and Bridge Makers. And special thanks to everyone at Engage XR for their continued support and allowing us to do this show here every week. So if you or your company would like to sponsor the XR News, please contact us at educatorsinvr.com.
All right, on to some industry news. So the first Earth Day was in 1970, and 20 million people attended Earth Day events across the United States. We marched, we cleaned the roadsides and rivers every year since, because we believed we could make our planet a better place to live. Earth Day is now international.
On this Earth Day, we still need that spirit, but the stakes have flipped. We need a healthier environment to make sure we can survive in it. VR is helping that cause. We now have immersive, data-driven virtual forests that people are using to see how their choices about land use, conservation, and energy will reshape the world we all depend on.
And you know, it's not just a concept on paper. Projects like virtual forests, the Penn State Climate Change Forest, and other immersive forest simulators, they allow people to step into different versions of a forest and literally walk through possible futures there, from healthy, climate resilient landscapes to degraded ones that are polluted or starved of water and shade.
You know, my first virtual world was a tree forest. You know,
Mhm.
studies on similar VR environmental experiences show that this kind of embodied perspective can boost empathy for nature and strengthen people's motivation to protect it long after the headset comes off. Now admit it. Okay, come on. We love hugging a tree in VR. You all know it. Jace, I've seen you do it. I know you've done it.
And climb them.
Hug a virtual tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's the power of VR in action to transform our perspectives and lives. We're going to be
Mm,
talking about that next week in our special event, and I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. Climate change, tariffs, wars, all these things impact our lives here on Earth Day 2026, even in VR. Like this announcement by Meta that they are raising the prices of the Quest 3 and 3S by 50 to 100 US dollars due to the global surge in the memory chip and shipping costs, which are impacting nearly every category of consumer electronics.
Now, this might be the time to move fast on any remaining stock at the old price. If you've been waiting to upgrade or outfit a classroom, the Quest 2 is dead, so now's your chance if you're still milking that one along or whatever. Now, the silver
Hmm.
lining is that Meta says they remain committed to VR's future and have a long-term hardware roadmap. We're going to see how closely they keep it, but do know that there's still hope, positive energy.
Yes.
Yep, there is. There is. And Meta continues to roll out new features too. So they're rolling out a handy new feature called Capture Markers on the Quest. And this update shows crop marks at the corners of your view before you take a screenshot or start a screen recording. So what you see is exactly what you get in the final capture. No more accidentally cropped shots or off-kilter angles. You can find it soon in camera settings under off, auto, hide, or on.
A week ago, Meta and Unity announced that they were extending their multi-year contract for platform support and enterprise agreement to deepen the company's VR partnership, sustaining their partnership for over 20 years. This tells us that while Meta is streamlining its huge plans to take over the metaverse, shifting gears toward mobile, it hasn't given up on VR.
No, it hasn't. And
It
VR
better
chat,
not.
no, it better not. VR chat rolled out a significant April update this week. They've now revealed those customizable loading screens for VR Chat Plus subscribers, installed avatar performance gating for group instances, and improved their imposter rendering. What this means is that if a group or event has avatar gating enabled, if the avatar is poorly optimized, a pop-up will come back to ask you to switch to a higher performance avatar. This is a big win for anyone running events.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Now, we have been talking about age verification for months on our XR News show, trying to figure out how apps, platforms, and games are going to handle this legally required verification process and keep our data secure. Well, Europe just unveiled a new digital age verification app through their national digital wallets and legal identification, allowing people to prove their age once to access services across multiple platforms. Several EU countries are already planning to integrate it into their national digital ID systems.
But aren't children smarter? Every age verification system so far there's been a spike in VPN downloads as kids work around it.
Exactly. But we're going to be talking about this more, but just realize that the EU has proven that it has one of the most secure digital ID systems, and it is one person per ID. It's not something they can just create an account. And the US doesn't. So there's lessons to be learned here. My fear is that here in the United States, that all these different age verification systems are just going to annoy us, and then things are going to change.
Yeah.
When adults get annoyed, things change. So I don't know. I don't know.
We shall see. Another sad reminder for many, Rec Room will indeed be closing its doors June 1st.
We skipped one.
There are articles.
That's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steph.
There are articles and videos on our Discord about how to export room data and inventions available only via the Stream PC version of Rec Room. The export generates JSON or GLB files to bring into Unity so you can convert them to whatever platform you are migrating to, or just to preserve your creations. In a couple hours, educators in VR will be meeting in VR chat to offer tips and tricks to those migrating away from Rec Room to other platforms. Come join us.
Mm-hmm. Now, what better time to remind you of the Virtual Worlds Museum? This is the digital museum that is archiving the history of immersive virtual worlds. Their teleportal is an online gateway to a living map of interconnected worlds to preserve and highlight its amazing history going back to before Second Life. If you haven't checked it out, do so. If you have digital assets from the past and you want, please, especially from closed platforms, consider sharing it. Talk to them. It's so important that we preserve our XR past, because what we have done here is so innovative. And I mean, I just think of Ancient, I won't say created the world's first earthquake machine right here, right in AltSpace VR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so amazing things have happened here. We need to preserve those. So talk to the people at Virtual Worlds Museum.
Well, you know, you think you human beings have trouble with new VR apps and games, navigating and figuring out the interfaces? You think you have problems with that? Well, let me tell you that researchers in Belgium have shown that monkeys can navigate complex 3D virtual environments using only brain signals without physical movement after very little training. I think I need to take a class from them.
Me too.
Using VR glasses, they were able to use first-person navigation, obstacle avoidance, and interact with objects. This is incredible. This could point to future XR interaction methods for people with paralysis or limited limb movement or limited brain functionality like me. Very exciting stuff.
And that's not a joke.
Thanks, Steph. You were
Okay. Virtual
Oh
hardware.
my. We're
Now
so
on to
mean
some
each
real
other.
nitty gritty. Okay. Have you heard about the new Intel Arc G3 chips? Specialized chips for mobile and PC gaming handhelds? VR manufacturers don't support these yet, but expect them soon, as they'll offer a significant jump in integrated graphics performance. Rivaling GPUs like what NVIDIA currently offers for consumers, full 10 by 12xe3 spec graphics cores. These promise up to an 80% performance increase over previous chip generations. We'll be keeping an eye on these as they move into the consumer market later this year, if they get them here.
80%.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's two things there. First of all, woo,
But they have to get here first.
improvement. Yeah, but the getting here part, the shipping part.
Yeah.
Okay, they're probably coming through the Strait of Hormuz. Did I say that out loud? I didn't say that out loud.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
I'm gonna so in trouble. Samsung's Galaxy XR headset, their Android XR update now brings 5 key new features to the platform, including audio spatialization, which, dig this. This is okay. This headset, I'm really struggling between the new Steam Valve and the Galaxy XR. Both are just like, my pocketbook is itching. That's with an Echo. Auto spatialization can transform almost any 2D app, game, or website into an immersive 3D experience directly in the headset. Okay, that is freaking cool. The platform also now supports over 100 XR-ready games and apps on their Play Store, more than double when it launched. And Samsung is committed to 5 years of software updates for the Galaxy XR, which I can't remember the last time that a headset manufacturer said we have a 5-year roadmap, or we have any kind of a roadmap past 6 months. So that's kind of cool. And I love that Samsung is back in the XR, because that's one of the early places in VR that I started with was Samsung Gear. So and I still have it, my old Samsung Gear.
Wow.
Okay.
Exciting. Okay, did you guys know that you can customize your Quest 3S action button on the side of your headset?
I didn't know that.
Well, originally it was used for toggling the pass-through, but now it can be customized to choose between 5 different other options. You can add the Meta AI trigger, capture photos or video, or mute your microphone. The feature is on its way in an upcoming release and can be controlled in settings under the action button menu.
Never know. Okay.
Mhm.
In PC VR news, Pimax has confirmed it's being forced, unfortunately, due to all the crazy we mentioned out in the global world, swapping out an unmentioned key component in its all crystal super PC VR headsets due to these supply chain constraints. Now, this is going to change the headset's modular design that many users really prize. This is significant concern for anyone who's interested in the Crystal Super by Pimax, is specifically for its upgradability. Pimax's performance will not be impacted, but the community and us, we're watching for more details, so stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Screen has revealed a major redesign of the long-awaited Halo mount for the Beyond 2 and Beyond 2E headsets. The new Halo mount features a clip-on mechanism and an improved flip-up mechanism. The small first batch ships in June with 10,000 units, following in July with pre-orders at 180.
This is weird. Am I not getting what this is? It looks weird. It's just
it does look
it
weird.
It's the flipping up of it, I think, that's confusing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just take it off. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses just took a major step toward accessibility with two new prescription-optimized styles, the Blazer Optics and the Scriber Optics, starting at $499. These AI-powered glasses are built from the ground up for people who need corrective lenses, with comfort features like overextension hinges, interchangeable nose pads, and optician-adjustable frames for more comfortable fit. Meta also added diet tracking and more.
I got a chance this weekend to play with some Ray-Ban and what's called Virtue AR glasses, and they were really fascinating. The Virtue AR glasses, they don't have a battery, so they're lightweight, sort of, but they have to be tied to a phone. You got to have a USB-C cord coming out of your head, out of the glasses, tied to the phone to access movies, browsers, and some apps with some pass-through options. Now, what's so interesting about this is that my friend rarely uses any of the AR features in these two sets of glasses that he has. And he watches movies, he listens to podcasts while working out on the bike or treadmill or something, but he doesn't use any of the Ray-Ban AR features. He just likes them as sunglasses.
Okay.
So thinking,
oh my gosh.
These are
kind of
really
expensive way to, to
block the sun. But he says no, they just annoyed the heck out of him, so he just uses them as sunglasses. And I think that's probably true of more people than just him. So during our discussion, we want to know, do you have AR glasses? Are you using them? And we want to talk about how you're using them. So let us know when we get to our audience chat in just a little bit.
I'd like to hear that too, because I'm considering doing a pair. So Lucid Tech from India has launched two wearable devices, the View AR glasses, which create a 180-inch private virtual theater experience without a traditional screen, and the View Ring, a compact ring-style controller for navigation and interaction. Unlike many AR companies focused on gaming, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Lucid is positioning these for productivity and daily use. One to watch as the Indian XR hardware space continues to grow.
Now, Vision Buddies Mini is a smaller portable wearable for those with low vision. So these are accessibility-based VR headsets. It meets mixed reality with features with magnification, has different reading modes, color filters for dyslexia and other vision issues, and voice control with an external camera and media streaming to help support those with vision challenges. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. What a great way to support accessibility by taking VR technology.
They're going to look like Geordi with his glasses, however, from Star Trek.
It does look like Geordi from Star Trek. Yeah, it does. Getting there. He put a hair comb
Over
on
the
his
years,
face.
uh, over the years, we've shared about bringing smell to VR without much success. A group of international researchers found an innovative approach by using ultrasound passed through the skull to the olfactory bulb behind your nose, thus triggering smells. They were able to induce the sensation of fresh air, garbage smells, and campfire wood smoke smells. Ooh. It's still in the testing phase, but kind of fascinating. We're shared details in our Educators in VR Discord.
Well, those are the
I
three
don't know about
primary
that.
smells in the world, aren't they? You got to do campfire, you got to do, the garbage, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's hardly enjoyable to have garbage smells in your nose. And I hope they
Yes.
can turn up those smells too once they've done
Yeah,
exciting them.
yeah, we'll see. But it's interesting that it's actually done with ultrasound waves. So
Yeah,
it's not something
but
that needs to be refilled
there's
or
bone and
destroyed.
brain between there and your
Huh?
olfactory bulb.
Well, it depends on where
That
they
could be a
put it. If they
problem.
put it in front of your face or behind.
True.
So we shall see. Yeah. All right.
Time will
moving on.
tell.
Yep.
Well, let's start the XR app news with this delightfully weird VR game. Sock Puppet Superstar, called the silliest rhythm game anyone's ever seen. You perform live concerts using, yes, a sock on your hand, called the most advanced musical instrument ever created, complete with full customization, hand tracking support, and a vocal synthesizer that changes pitch as you move your puppet up and down. This is one of those games that makes people grin the second they put the headset on.
I think
Sounds
I
very
think it's
interesting.
hysterical. I want to play it. I want to play it. Yeah, the faces
I
are.
want to see that too.
And
Okay,
it makes sense. It makes total
It does.
sense. You know?
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, if you're looking for something quieter but jaw-droppingly beautiful, Lucent VR is one of the most visually stunning exploration experiences available on Quest 3 right now. It's a contemplative, non-violent experience where you wander through a series of exquisitely lit, interactive dreamscapes, hunting for hidden artifacts. It invites you to unlock new scenes and slow down to really soak up the details. Reviewers are already calling it their go-to showcase for what standalone Quest 3 graphics can do, with visuals that feel closer to high-end PC VR than a mobile headset.
Wow, fascinating.
Among Us 3D, the definitive edition, launched April 7th, bringing the beloved social deduction game into full virtual reality across MetaQuest, PSVR 2, and Steam VR. Developer Shell Games has packed in new cosmetics, it's not what they call them, and all the original game modes now have a fully immersive first-person perspective. If you've played Among Us on just a flat screen, you're missing out. VR is a completely different experience.
It, as always, so as many of us know. Yeah. Now, arriving April 24th is one of the most anticipated VR titles of the spring. It's called Little Nightmares VR Altered Echoes from Bandai Namco and developer Iconic. You'll play as Dark Six on a haunting first-person journey to reunite herself with the missing part of her soul. It's the most immersive entry in the Little Nightmares series yet, and it's launching across Quest, PC VR 2, and Steam VR simultaneously.
Wow, sounds pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we love finding stories about the use of VR to transform lives, the topic of our special event next week. Here's a great example. Clay Beyersdorfer, a U.S. Army veteran who suffered a traumatic brain injury in Afghanistan in 2014, published a first-hand account of using a virtual reality therapy program developed at Narova Labs to treat his PTSD. Over 3 weeks of VR lessons, he reported sleeping better, he was calmer, and more hopeful for the first time in a long time.
That's just, I need that. I don't care about them. I need that. That is amazing. Yeah, Narova Labs is still in testing, but the early results are giving veterans really help. And this is why we believe in VR, right? This is the technology that meets people where they are. No travel, no doctor's offices, no waiting around. Bring your friends and join us next week. We want to hear your story about how VR is transferring your life. And this is such a great example. I want to use it.
Well, now on to world building. It's changing. It's dividing into manual world builders using Blender, Unity, Unreal Engine, and other world building tools, and AI using verbal or contextual prompts to generate worlds on the spot. Many of us dream of the Star Trek holodeck with the ability to recreate or create a virtual experience with verbal commands. Yet the beauty of handcrafted virtual worlds will always be worthy of a special place in VR and our hearts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is right. And last week, Tencent released the open source High World 2.0, an AI model that generates real 3D worlds, actual meshes, Gaussian splats, and point clouds directly from a text prompt, a single photo, or even a video clip. Instead of confining it to a web browser or app, the output is imported directly into Unity, Unity Engine, Blender, and NVIDIA's Isaac Sim. This is not a video preview of a world. It is actual geometry that you can bring straight into your workflow.
Wow. Yeah. And hours later, Alibaba released their own competing world model called Happy Oyster. 2 open source AI world generators in a single day.
I love that name.
Wow.
The Battle of AI World Generation competition has begun.
And where there's competition, hopefully we consumers will benefit. You know, AI impacts the lives and work of so many world builders, and it's changing how we and how you build and develop. You know, Dawn is going to be talking about getting an app into the Meta Quest that she's built, and so AI is changing all of that for us. So, you know, coming up, so we're going to be talking about this more in a few minutes, so get ready.
Now, for world builders who prefer to work offline, there's a new open model called Waypoint 1.5 from Overlord that launched this week, and it generates
from Overworld, not Overlord.
Overworld.
Oh, did I say? Oh, sorry.
Freudian.
Oh, that was a Freudian slip, I think.
It was.
All right, let me rephrase that so I don't get misquoted. This is Overworld, not Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of AI Overlord. Okay, let's go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overlord. Okay, and that launched this week, and it generates interactive 3D worlds entirely on your local machine. No cloud subscription required. Running on consumer hardware, it gives world builders a private, fast pipeline to prototype environments without sending assets to a server. This is ideal for those concerned about data privacy and for anyone in areas without reliable broadband.
Game, that's me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, even yet. Now, Google has released Vibe Coding XR, a new XR Blocks gem extension for the Gemini web app that lets you describe any web XR experience in plain language. In under 60 seconds, Gemini builds it for you. The HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all populated live in its canvas view for browser access in Quest 3. Oh boy, Galaxy XR and Apple Vision Pro. It includes physics, hand interactions, and a full UI. You can create your own interactive physics or chemistry lab in mixed reality with nothing to install. The best results come from Gemini 3.1 Pro, which reportedly produces error-free output about 95% of the time. Check out XR Blocks for Gemini Canvas and share your creations.
Wow. You know, a research team.
Fact.
Yeah, I know. A research team has released in Spatio World FM, an open source real-time generative frame model for spatial intelligence. Now, from a 2D image, it will generate a fully explorable, spatially consistent 3D world from it in real time, right on a consumer-grade GPU equivalent to something like the RTX 490. Now, no data center required, well, so to speak, no cloud subscription, no installation. The wall between AI generates an image and AI generates a world you can actually walk through has gotten very thinner. And we really want to know in the upcoming chat, have you played around with this? Have you done anything with this? And I have to say, gobsmacked is the right word, Steph. There's so many people say VR is dead, and all that garbage that's just, things. But look at where we're doing with this spatial and 3D, 4D virtual world building that is happening. It's really amazing. And so I think it's just, you're right. It's evolving. Mm-hmm.
It is. We're watching, some of us are watching from a Netflix series in VR chat, and I love the show. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool within the next couple of years to take a prompt and ask AI to build the town, give it some video prompts or photo prompts and ask it to build that world. I think that would be awesome. We're
probably can do it now.
Close.
Yeah, there's some copyright problems with that, but I imagine anybody would be able to do it, though.
I would imagine so.
Which is something during our chat coming up. Copyright is going to have to change.
Yes,
it's going to be interesting to see.
It will. Well, anyway, last week's XR News Innovation Spotlight explored the history of 3 favorite VR platforms that have gone the way of history. Laurel Y highlighted the beautiful and rare art form of world building that we just don't see anymore, what we called hand sculpting. That's the world building of spaces and models with whatever you have virtually lying around, literally. In All Space VR, Henry, Homer, and Karen 666 were true artists in hand sculpting. And let's take a moment to pay tribute to some of their wonders. I mean, that you have to have true creativity to be able to do what they do.
Yeah.
And patience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Henry loved cartoons and Star Trek. He brought in some of the first of both as worlds and experiences, including the amazing The Jetsons cartoon characters recreated using just geometrics. He participated in all the world-building competitions, including the holiday storytelling world, where he recreated the Grinch coming down on the sleigh, filled with presents, tooting his horn. Incredible precision in world building and hand sculpting.
Yeah. What's the name of the maid in the Jetsons? Because I know there was Jeffro and
Mabel?
Rosie.
Rosie.
It came to me. Rosie was amazing. I mean, it was so. I expected her to start moving and moving around and vacuuming everything in sight. He did such a great job with it. And legendary Homer. Any of you who were in Outspace, you saw these, blew our mind what he did. He was a master of hand sculpting. His Halloween world called the Black Maze was a masterclass in world building, as was Homer's Nightmare, featuring a robot holding up the world and a giant dragon of stone. I love the dragon. Oh, I love the dragon. I have great stories about the dragon, but tell later. Anyway, his Thanksgiving parade floats, where he was one of the judges along with myself, featured Bullwinkle, Santa on his sleigh, and even SpongeBob. Was incredible. His Polar Express train continues to be one of the most classic and well-remembered hand sculpting masterpieces ever. That was
my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
It truly was. And then Karen 666, she broke ground with the innovative use of geometrics and text for hand sculpting. She even set up a self-challenge to create a gallery using only 2 kits in Outspace VR. She built a Doctor Who TARDIS and Dalek. At that time, I didn't even know what those were. Out of geometric. We also remember her famous The Ocean World, built for Earth Day many years ago, and her holiday storytelling Viking and food waste worlds. One of her greatest hand sculpting masterpieces is this table with a doily. That just amazed me. That blew me away. Every bit of lace is keyboard text and symbols like hashtags, brackets, and asterisks. It took her 9 hours to make that lace. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Unbelievable.
And to line up every single drape and everything, all with single bits of text. I mean, that's just
yeah.
Painstakingly creative.
I know. I will never forget the jaw. My jaw would not close when I walked in and I saw that, because I knew what it took. It was just like breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking.
You didn't get that kind of detail back then either, unless you put in that kind of work.
Yeah. And so few people appreciate what hand sculpting. They just look and they go, oh, that's a Dalek. Oh, that's a this. You know, she didn't know what a Dalek looked like. She'd never, here she is, she was a Brit and she'd never watched Doctor Who, but she knew I was a big fan.
Hard.
And so she created the Dalek and the TARDIS by looking it up on the net and looking at pictures. And she used geometrics and stuff. It was really, really amazing. And so people look at it and go, oh, well, that's just what it is. You have no idea how many hundreds of pieces went into each one. Yeah. So we pay tribute to them.
Building in Unity, Blender, or using some rare hand sculpting, we love celebrating worlds, especially those created to push limits and break the boundaries.
Speaking of which, let's please remind everyone to give to the medical fund to help support one of our favorite master world builders, Nico, as he prepares to head to Mexico for medical treatment for a rare disease next month. Millions have visited his incredible solar system, his space worlds, and other worlds that are open to the public across multiple platforms. He has made almost no money from any of these projects. Now it's time for us to give back and help him and support him in his time and need. So please give. And all the links and information is our social media and Discord, etc. So thank you.
Okay, on to some VR events. Educators in VR hosted a really cool watch party for the splashdown of Artemis 2 last Friday in VR chat. It was just an amazing experience.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, how cool to share this with so many people and to have watched this history-making experience in VR. We hung on for a couple hours to wait for the crew to arrive on the waiting ship to ensure they were safe and sound. It was so exciting. You know, what a thing to tell your grandkids and your great-grandkids that you watched the splashdown in virtual reality. How cool is that? And how many of us remember from like the 70s when we watched that in real life? Those of us who are old enough to remember, we watched it in real life, never dreaming that we'd have a headset on in 2026 watching it in VR.
No, it was amazing.
This is true.
It was amazing. Yeah, that was so cool.
Well, Friday, Vertex Form 3D is looking for people using Quest and 2D to test drive their new WebXR version. It's very new, and you're welcome to join Educators in VR's Wrecking Crew and others to help us break it in, or break it if necessary. It's great fun, and your feedback is essential to help our partner make the most stable open source Unity framework around that will democratize world building for everyone. Come join us.
Now, our Educators in VR Unity work group has had a great Ask Me Anything session in VR chat last week, and the next session is Friday, May 1st in Engage XR. And Dawn is going to be there. She's going to help take us step-by-step through the process of getting her VR app approved in the Quest Meta Store, which, you know, it's fascinating, all the hoops that builders and developers have to pass through. So come join us. We'll all learn together how this all works.
That should be very interesting.
Yeah.
Educators in VR's Tuesday workshop in Engage XR next week is on choosing the right VR headset for yourself, your class, your school, and your work. We're going to look forward to all the new options out there, as well as the workhorses that we use today. Come share your insights and experiences on choosing a VR headset.
And don't forget that today, Educators in VR will again be in VR chat for a special session on how to download and preserve your Rec Room virtual worlds and tools, and how to migrate from one platform to another. It is both easier and harder than you think, and we have a great deal of experience to share. If you are on a VR or in a VR community social media channel, let them know and help us spread the word. See you all in VR chat later today.
Mhm. Now, while you're in VR chat, don't forget that there is a public events calendar as well as their updated Explore Groups menu. VR chat is in there Educators in VR is in there along with some of our partners like Bridgemakers and Cadets Metaverse. And if you're looking for community social VR, these are the two best places to start.
Mm.
They truly are. And there's just so much to do in the metaverse. If you're looking to make friends, play games, be entertained, or be educated, there's no better or more diverse place than in VR. So check out some of our favorite partner events, including Africa VR Campus every Thursday and Bundy's karaoke events, both in Engage and XR, and Bridgemaker events. And don't forget Atessa's nightclub and karaoke events in VR chat and Sunday's World Tours with Cadets Metaverse.
Mm. Educators in VR brings you weekly educational VR events too, training sessions and paid workshops you don't want to miss either. See our social media and website for more information on those. Are you ready for the rundown of upcoming conferences? Let's go.
April 23rd through 24th of 2026, right around the corner, is Go.con in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, for fans of the immersive coding engine.
May 19th through the 20th is Google's I/O in Mountain View, California, and we're always looking for whatever news is going to come out of there.
Yes,
June 8th
absolutely.
to the 12th. June 8th to the 12th is Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference in Cupertino, California. God knows I have no idea.
AWE USA 2026 is June 15th through 18th in Long Beach, California, and tickets are on sale now.
The International XR Metaverse Conference is on June 17th and 19th in Estonia.
Immersive Tech Week is in the Netherlands, starts June 23rd.
June 30th through July 3rd is the XR CreatorCon on-site hackathon and conference in Berlin, Germany.
And SIGGRAPH 2026 is in LA in July 19th through the 23rd.
And GamesCon is in Germany, August 26th to the 30th.
December 7th through 9th of 2026, United XR Europe in Brussels, Belgium.
We're going to soon be listing 2027. Wow. And the year is moving fast. If you would like to have a favorite conference or XR event featured here, please let us know. We love promoting them. All right. It is now time for us to talk.
Oh, do we have much to talk about this week? We are eager to hear your thoughts about price rises on VH headsets and accessories, the age verification system in the EU, and world building, and now it is being changed by AI. Microphones are open. Let's hear from you.
I want to know, the price increase thing is worrisome. It's always worrisome, but I don't know how much the gas is near y'all, but diesel is now almost $7 where I am.
Wow.
That's just
wow.
I can remember, when it was like 50 cents. So, yeah, and cheaper than gas. Now diesel's gone up higher. So, and all of that, the price of transportation, the access to chips, all of that goes into the price of everything. So, has anybody been feeling the price pinch? You can unmute and chat to us.
Has it affected whether you're
else.
going to consider buying something or not? Is it taking it out of your budget?
I want the Pico 4. I want the Pico 4. I want the Pico 4. Okay,
I'm not counting her budget.
Yeah, I know. I have zero budget because I'm looking at the other ones too in Lusting, so it's hard. But I really want the Pico.
I still want the pass-through that's in color, however.
Pico has fast color, but it's the Valve new frame headset that has black and white pass-through. But anyway, any thoughts on hardware, favorite things, costs? Peter?
Well, at least here in some part of Europe, you don't feel it yet as for the electronics. Like, for example, Meta 3S is now on sale on many stores.
Good.
299 euros. So I don't know what is
Oh,
280 US dollars, I
nice.
guess, or something.
Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, that's you don't feel it yet, but what they say actually is that it's like it's coming. It's like because of especially the cargo flights are getting are hitting the lack of fuel, so to get the
Oh,
products from one country, especially from China, from Asia, to get the products, because you can buy Pico here, but they said that actually the price will go high because of the fuel price for the
Mhm.
transportation. So that's another thing which we should
ooh.
expect. And they said in few follow probably in 3-4 weeks. So we will see. Yeah.
Interesting. Anyone else feeling it? Thank you.
I imagine George will be kind of feeling it the worst, probably because you're all the way out in Fiji.
Well, I mean, the fuel has gone up, but Fiji has a fairly good reserve, and they're negotiating to get more fuel. So, but I mean, we will feel it definitely. Transportation costs, everything is going to go up. And here, they were also talking about the age verification, and I think it's impossible because the kids have so many different ways of getting around it. Just a while ago, I was in a VR chat world. It was an adult space, and it was good. Nothing strange going on. And this little kid who said he was 5 years old came in, and he sounded like it, and he dropped a few swear words. So people
Oh,
began to teach him stuff. The first thing they taught
no,
him is that Heil Hitler is a really
no.
cool way to greet your friends. So he was going around saying Heil Hitler to everyone. And then they taught him more words, like really bad words.
I hope
Oh,
But
these
they
aren't
gave him
friends of
fun.
yours.
They were just people in the. And so they
I
taught
think
him
his parents are
all
going to
kinds of these
regret
bad
letting him
words.
get on that.
Well, and
Ugh.
they told him like fun meanings. They didn't really tell him
Oh
what the words
no.
really meant. And then he went around cursing everyone out. And the question is, what is a young child doing in the middle of the night on his own in
Yeah,
VR? He probably put on his mother's headset and just went out roaming. So I think the only answer to this is parental supervision, and most parents
yeah,
just can't be bothered.
yeah.
Well,
They just
it's
give their kid a headset,
yeah,
and it's like a babysitter.
yeah. We have
Like the
problems with
TV. Yeah,
the kids coming in and using the headset when their parents aren't paying attention. So
Yeah.
it's not like a gun; it needs to be
Hmm.
locked down. That's an issue. But the what's interesting about the EU certification thing is that those are national ID, so it's one person per ID. You can't just nobody can just create a EU ID just for fun. I have like 12 emails. It's not like that. It's attached to your passport, attached to your country identification. So that is and it's supposedly protected by the highest levels of security because it's at national security levels. And so having the age verification that way, it's not something that kids can just randomly do. So
so how
I
do they
like that.
have you heard how they verify it? I
Yeah,
mean,
they
how do
have
they know the difference between
an
the parent and
EU
the kid?
because
Yeah.
they already have national ID. They already have national ID.
Uh-huh.
So
But I
it
mean, how
just
does the
needs to
headset itself know who's
it
putting it
hooks
on?
into it hooks into the main database without passing any information on. And that's what's different for what's going on through
Huh.
the United States and other countries is that there's like Discord had its own system and they had legal agreements that said that they would destroy these third-party systems would destroy the evidence within like 15 seconds or whatever of being approved your personal data and stuff, and then it got hacked or whatever happened. They had security vulnerabilities and blew it. Okay, but it was reliant on, and Facebook had to come up with their own system and so and so and so and so. So tying it, and that doesn't work because you either have to build it, which adds cost to your app or your process to it, or you have to hire a company, third-party company to handle it, which is risky too. So hooking into a national ID system, which I don't know if that'll work in the United States, though it's coming no matter what. That simplifies the process because it's a single government agency that is doing it, and so the app never gets access to the information. They just know you're approved as an adult. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it isn't in the U.S. and other countries. It's currently not working right.
Well, what's to stop a
No,
child
true.
in Europe from putting on their parents' headset? I mean, just the other day, I met someone in VR.
That's a different conversation. What's the difference? There's no different from some kid. You know, my parents a million years ago left us in the car. Nothing's worse than having two little kids sitting in a car. It's hot and tiresome. And my brother decided he'd get behind the wheel, and he kicked off the brake, and the car started rolling forward right into my grandparents. Little kid, they're gonna do stuff, and we can't regulate adults to force them. We already have enough rules, right? It's no different than anything else. So putting away their headset or putting a password on their headset, there's all kinds of ways that they can do that, but we can't make laws on it, right? We can't make laws. But that's not the problem. The problem is when kids are getting into VPNs and they're actually hacking in and they're pretending to be an adult when they're not. That's a different thing compared to just like, my brother kicking the brake off. My grandparents are fine. My mom jumped in the car and stopped it before it did damage. But, teach your kids young what the brake is. I mean, we were a little tiny. Yeah.
I mean, it's a matter of will the parents be liable for if the kid gets into trouble, I suppose.
That's still that's a good point too.
Yeah, George, that's a responsibility. That's a huge issue on what if a kid does, because that means that they have a fake ID. That's illegal. It's not just they're getting into things, they're breaking the law, right?
They've broken the law, yeah.
Well, that boy I told you about, it's the equivalent, in my opinion, of taking the child at night to the nightclub district of the city and letting them roam on their own. If that happened, that parent would be charged with some kind of negligence or abandonment or something. And
well,
to me, it's the
I wouldn't
same.
go that far. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same. I think it's more, like, I don't know what equivalent, but, there's levels to all of this. And if a kid actually creates a fake ID, that's falsification, identification, right? Or steals, that's impersonation and theft. That's illegal. So that's something that's a law. A parent not locking up their headset or putting a password on it, that's careless. So there's different things in it. I wouldn't say that's criminal, but I don't know. This is going to be hard. What do the rest of you think about this age verification stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that 5-year-old boy, the words he was learning, it was bad, really bad.
Yes, but I put that on the responsibility of the adults in the room who were stupid, right? It's not the kid's fault. It's not the parents' fault. It's the kids who did that to that. I mean, the adults who did it to that kid. They're the ones
or the
to blame.
person who offers the event and then doesn't moderate it, right?
Yes, absolutely. That kid should have been bounced immediately. So I put that's, if you want to talk about some serious responsibility and liability, that's on the adults who did the stupid, and no one stopped them. Y'all watched them. That's so now I'm on my high horse. Sorry. I know that Jenks and Stance with Trees and Lance, you all have been, moderators. What are your thoughts on all this?
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! So, I mean, first of all, I think of course, there's no easy answer here. The platforms need to take more responsibility in keeping children off their platform.
Absolutely.
And also, when it comes to age verification, I'm kind of interested in seeing how this system in the EU plays out. But there needs to be more. How do I put this? So here in North America, particularly the U.S. and Canada, um, there needs to be more consequences for companies when data gets leaked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like so. I mean, obviously, or at least I think this is the direction that we're heading. Right, age verification is going to
Mhm.
become a thing. This is where everything is going, and so there needs to be. And I'm not sure if this is governments and country governments' responsibility or what, but there needs to be more consequences when data is leaked. Companies need to be fined millions of dollars and even have leadership go
Pay
to
the
prison.
people.
Yeah,
and
go to
and
prison
pay the
for
people
when
whose
data is leaked.
privacy was violated. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah. I so want money for every time I get one of those letters saying your account has been hacked and we're going to give you
Oh,
free credit. Blah blah. I said, give me
whoopee.
money. You just cost me time and money and energy. I want the money. I don't want the coverage. Yeah, no, you're right. There
Absolutely.
needs to be. Yeah, Jinx, Lance, thoughts? Jinx, go ahead. Emma's mute and unmute.
So, okay, the age verification thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me for this. It doesn't work. It never will.
True.
It does not work, and it never will.
Well, in North America, yeah.
Even with those the IDs that they have in Europe, not gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because children, and from the years I've done moderation,
Mm-hmm.
children are so crafty.
Yes, they are.
this is true.
And this is the thing that kills me. It's a two-part problem. The first part is kids are smart enough to know where their parents put their wallets and their IDs.
Mm-hmm.
And so many cases where they've used their parents' ID without their parents knowing. It's not
Mm-hmm.
the ID out, scan it in through the system because there's no back check behind the systems to verify that it's you putting in the ID.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, it's the twofold part is there's a lot of parents who will just openly do that for their kids because, yeah, I hate saying it, but there's just a lot of parents who just think that a headset or a gaming console or a computer or a cell phone is a virtual babysitter.
Yep.
And so
Indeed.
just get yelled at for the 5 minutes that they get yelled at and then fight back going, well, I didn't know when they actually did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right.
One of the best things, and this is where AI can actually help out quite a bit. We have headsets. We have headsets that have cameras on them. The cameras can see your face. They could see your eyes.
Uh-huh.
How hard can it possibly be to make sure that it verifies it's you, not by having a simple picture or a 2D image that a kid can just take from a photograph to say, oh, this is you, look, scan this, but instead make you actually have to scan your face to log into your headset so that it's verifying you're the one putting it on.
Interesting. I like that. I don't know if
Yeah.
you do and I don't.
Yeah, I was going to
You have
say.
to turn your face left and right so it can verify the 3D
Mhm.
shape of your face, and the features, the eye color, and everything. You can't do that with a picture. I mean, they could try to do something. I know they'll be crafty enough to do that, but if anybody knows, when you point a camera at a camera or a camera at a screen, it doesn't give you the clearest of images. So an AI should pick up on that and go, yeah, no, that's not an actual face, that's a screen.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the trick to that would be to localize it so that there's no databasing somewhere else on a cloud in the corporation somewhere that is tracking you that way, because then your privacy is there's a problem with your privacy basically. So
would have to
if there-
the property would have to be built
Yeah.
into headset itself, so that your image is only saved on that headset, not in some remote server, but locally on that headset. And then you don't have to worry.
It's the equivalent of a gun lock, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. It would be just like doing that. And I mean, those have helped. I mean, again, kids are crafty. God, geez, the things that they can get through with just a.
I believe
it. Some of these, like you see some of these videos of these infants just out of nowhere, and they just grab a random toy and they just smack something that's supposed to be, prevent a kid from ever being able to get through, and they're just like, nope, I'm done, I'm in. It's like, okay, wow. But on top of that, as far as like, people having, being reprimanded or what have you, companies, with lawsuits and everything for violations and stuff. You mentioned, like getting money in return for your data being stolen. What good is it if like who's gonna care about that if all they see at the end of the day when the class action lawsuit's done is, oh yeah, you're gonna get 25 cents. Here's your portion. Like what?
And for the corporation, it's a slap on the wrist. Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to be bigger than a slap. In some countries, in Singapore and stuff, it's part of saving face. Companies are required to pay out some set fees for having data stolen, and it makes companies think twice, because they don't want to spend that money. And so it's been found to be successful when people are, or lose face. And it's been successful in some small countries. But I mean, I have faced, our local Department of Motor Vehicles, not local, our state, was hacked a few years ago. And I'm still paying and suffering because of that data loss. My data's out on the web, and it goes on for years and years and years and years, and I haven't got a dime. And so that comes out of my time and my life, and I don't think that our Department of Motor Vehicles have been punished enough for what they allowed to happen with their archaic software and stuff. We need, so that's what I'm thinking about is that there needs to be enough punishment to make them go, oh, it's going to be cheaper to make sure that we have security experts that put privacy and security first, and that it's long term. But I can't even tell you how much it's cost us because of that, and I haven't seen any kind of compensation at all for serious pain and suffering. And if DMV got hit, it was this little tiny slap, but I got nothing. I'm the one paying the price for it. So that's where I come from.
But the trouble with causing a government to pay reparation or whatever is you're basically fining yourself because it's coming out of your taxes.
Yes,
so
well, we can do that instead of building a ballroom or an ark. The arch.
An ark.
Did I say that? I don't know what it's called. We do an ark. We'll all get in the ark and sail away. Yeah. Good points, Jinx. Really good points. Yeah, it is tough stuff. And you mentioned AI, and so that's a nice segue too. I want to just quickly tap into: is anybody using AI to build worlds or models or anything?
It's early days yet, but
yeah. Dawn, have you played with any?
I have not.
Are you thinking
tempted?
about it? Yeah.
What's that?
Are you tempted?
Are you tempted?
Yeah, I am tempted. Very much so. Yep.
Do you think it's going to make your life easier or complicated, or how would you use it? What are you thinking?
Kind of like speeding the act of creation. Making it
prototyping,
faster.
maybe. Yeah.
Prototyping. I'm just, I do need to experiment with it. I'm just wondering, because I know everything that it takes to the traditional way. How does that work when everything's created for you, and how do you indicate
how do you access
it? Yeah.
But if they can output to Blender or Unity, then you'll have control over it the same way you would your own materials. So I'm just wondering how the Gaussian splats are worked into that. Yeah.
Because Gaussian splats, except for in rudimentary ways, it's not like a digital photogrammetry scan where you can, put a mesh around
Right.
it and interact with it and pick it up. It's just something you kind of walk through. Now I
Yeah,
have
it's
seen where you can
three-dimensional,
kind
but
of,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
it's like a dream almost. But I
yeah.
have
It's a very
seen
good
some
description.
some platforms like Arrival Space where you can build some rudimentary
Colliders. Yeah,
colliders. Thank you. So you could walk across a bridge, for instance, or
yeah.
establish a
But you still
wall.
have to
But
do that by hand, I think, right?
you do.
Yeah.
But how do you create a Gaussian splat of a room and I don't know, be able to pick up the water pitcher?
Yeah.
That was part of it.
Hey,
So
they're talking about it being possible, so I have yet to see it in action, though.
have you tried experimenting?
I've not experimented with it, but I've walked through a few, and I'm still walking through them, literally.
Okay.
Speaking of it being dreamlike.
Yeah, I played with a few early on, and
Yeah.
it was more clunk than whatnot, and not always what was asked, and so in the early days it was more of
Oh, very
clarity of
much.
prompt. Yeah, you'd ask for something to be round, and it end up being a hexagon. You're going, I asked for round, so the clarity of what it produced based on your request is always a struggle with it, but. Ancient and I have had many discussions about things related to this that you made me think about. It isn't just about building a world, it's about supporting it, or model or whatever it is. It's about supporting it and making sure that whatever you create works within the environment that you're using it, whether you're like on VR Chat or Engage or Vertex Form 3D, whatever it is. It's got to work within, and each platform, each thing has little things to tweak. And then the code, if you're using programming to make animation and rigging and other things with it, how safe is that code? How often do you have to update and maintain what's going on? And that's, an AI isn't going to babysit your stuff for you, right?
It may in future, but I don't think it's doing it right now.
Yeah. So what do you think about that, Dawn?
Well, I just had a comment when you were talking about the different AIs. There's so it was World FM. I wrote it down. So the ability to take like a 2D image and transform it into a world, and I'm really interested in that because my childhood home, I have when my dad passed away, my brother took a lot of pictures of both the outside and the inside of the house. And I have all of those images, and it's really important to me because the house is gone now. So is it possible to create a 3D model of that house that you could walk through? I don't know.
You've got AI
I think
now that you
eventually.
can. Yeah, I mean, you have AI now that you can use a mood board of a collage of many different photos like that, and it will combine them together. But that's in 2D right now. I can imagine that would be applicable.
Yeah,
And I've tried to use like Meshy too, but it's imperfect.
Yeah, but Tencent High World is the one that worked off of a photograph or a video. And then it converted to something to be output to Unity. So that was Tencent High World. Jinx, you had something you wanted to add? Love to hear it.
Okay, so we're talking about utilizing AI for things like design and 3D and everything else. It's coming along. It's very slow still in its infancy. Even still, there's a lot of people don't think it is. Unfortunately, there's a lot of professional studios who think it's way ahead of its time.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if it's, Firefly, Finch 3D, KDM,
Mm-hmm.
ArchiCAD, BIM, frickin' Claude Design, the new thing everyone's talking about, Claude Design.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to do what you want it to do right out of the box.
And it may require a certain amount of art in the
Yes.
prompting of it to get it to do that too.
Yeah, but even then, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Professionals are and I hate saying it, a lot of professionals are thinking that they can go ahead and basically just, oh, hey, I'll do a simple architecture firm setup here. You've got a head architect, you've got project managers underneath that, and then you got drafters underneath that. There's this trend going on now where a lot of them are thinking, oh, we can get rid of these drafters because we got the AI to do all the work for us. And then they realize that they're going to end up doing 2 to 3 times as much work because it's
themselves.
not. They have to go back and fix all the errors and fix the sloppy 3D and the 3D doesn't translate to 2D and the 2D doesn't translate to 3D. It's not. We still have.
And AI doesn't have the context that someone. There's no context for the AI to draw from as a professional would have from his own experience.
Exactly, and there's a saying, I don't know, a lot of people might have heard of SketchUp before.
Yeah, almost everybody.
Very famous saying in SketchUp that they should have just used it to market it for some time because I'm sure it would have made them sales. It's funny, but the saying goes, SketchUp makes bad geometry look good.
Yep.
That's it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that is. Again, AI is the diaper age and age of verification. We're not even in diapers. We're like in the womb. This is still early days for all of these things, and XR News is going to be here.
Yes.
We're going to be watching this and following this and reporting all of this. So I want to thank all of you.
That's a segue.
Yay! It is a segue. Yes. I want to thank all of you for your amazing insights. And, we have the best audience in VR. Y'all are amazing. And we love you. And we love your support. We love your appreciation for being here every week here in Engage XR. And so thank you for contributing to everything. Also, a reminder, next week, XR News, we're asking our community, our audience, we're asking you, how has VR changed your life? How has it transformed it? How and why? Come share your stories because we really want to hear, because there's memories out there that we want to preserve and we want to see. How has it really impacted you? So come join us next Wednesday right here in Engage XR. We are here ready. So next week, be there.
Agreed. Now, XR News is produced by educators in VR and our XR News volunteer team weekly here in Engage XR. We've been bringing you the news from across the metaverse since 2018, and we're still rolling. We meet weekly for news and Engage XR for the news you need to know.
We also bring you our 2 special edition segments on MedHealth and Innovation Spotlight with our amazing hosts, Rachel D., Maxim McGee, Chris Mattson, and the grandfather of VR, Dr. Tom Furness. And they deep dive into topics and special guests. We never know what's going to happen. But these people are reinventing immersive technology and the entire industry. So come join us for our special events. Not special events, our editions. Karen.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I was thinking. Okay, sorry. And each of our shows is filmed for YouTube. Subscribe and share with your friends, and keep up with the news and help us share the news from around the metaverse in the meantime. And join Educators in VR Discord and social media channels to find links to what we've highlighted in the show and much more about the metaverse and immersive education.
And I cannot say thank you enough to all of our partners and sponsors for Educators in VR and the XR News, including iLearn, the Reinhold Foundation, Girls STEAM Institute, Virtual World Society, Cadets Metaverse, Vertex Form 3D, Bridgemakers, and Engage XR. And we're also looking for volunteers. Come join us.
Let's not forget to give credit where it's due. We couldn't do this show without the hard work of those who gather the news from across the metaverse industry for a living, including our XR News reporters. Thank you to all of you out there toiling in the metaverse.
It takes a village. And our rule is you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. In fact, it's a job requirement. And I want to thank everyone who joins us here in Engage XR to help support. Here some of our pictures are up on the wall. I want to really thank them for all that they give of their time and energy to make the show so possible. So thank you, everyone, so very much.
Now remember, you all are the reason we do the XR News Show. So until the next time, stand up, stand tough. And most of all, in these amazing, uncertain times, please be safe wherever you are in the world.
We did a thing!
Now stands with trees.
Okay, we did a thing.